All right, thanks everybody. So I guess two things up front. One is this is based on analogy to Dr. Strangelove, if you didn't know that. That's kind of up front, which is a movie, famous movie. I'll get into it a little bit. But it's second is focused on defense, right? So we're going to talk about exploits, but it's for the purposes of cyber defense, right? So Dr. Strangelove about the nuclear bomb, how I stopped worrying and learned to love the bomb, right? What I want to try to do is draw an analogy, just because I got a short amount of time, but I want to convey a couple main points, right? In the movie, right, there was two big failures for nukes, right? One is that in the movie, the protagonist was able to launch nukes against Russia with nobody else telling him what to do. Is the commander of a Burleson Air Force Base, right? So he was able to launch nukes, and we weren't able to get them back, right? Like, they're on airplanes, all that kind of stuff. The second failure is actually Dr. Strangelove on the top. He's a scientist that was helping Russia, and what they built was a doomsday machine, right? So what the big failure with the doomsday machine, it was a big deterrent, right? So if you attack us, we're going to attack you back, like automatically. It's going to happen. They didn't tell anybody, right? Like that's the whole drama of the movie, is they had this huge deterrent that only works if you tell people, and they were going to make their announcement next week, right? So end of the world, everybody went down to mine shafts, all this kind of stuff. But the thing that I want to draw the analogy to is it was a failure, right? Like, that's not the point of the movie, but what we've heard a couple times today from Chernobyl, earlier on to the last conversation about design of nuclear systems, is it has to be resilient, it has to be survivable. And my contention is right now, cyber is so complex that it is failing every day. And the way out of that failure is A, through design, and security through design. But until we get to that point, this time in the future where things are secured by design and deployed securely, we have to deal with that. So I come back to first principles. What is cyber's primary mission? Cybersecurity, right? What is cybersecurity's primary mission? Is it compliance? No. Is it metrics and reports of what was blocked? No. It is stopping threats, reducing risks. At the strategic level, Rick Howard, his book on first principles, does it pretty well. At the strategic level, it's to reduce risk for the organization. At the tactical level, how do you do that? Is by stopping exploits, making sure your stuff works. So how are we doing on the cybersecurity mission? We, the industry, how are we doing on that mission? Well, there's a lot of effort into compliance. There's a ton of effort into vulnerabilities. There's a lot of effort on analytics and big data and trying to find all that stuff. But at the end of the day, some of those are proxies for security, right? Compliance is a proxy. I wouldn't even kind of put it in security, but it happens, right? That's what people have to do, is compliance. So that's going to be something that they have to pay and get the money for, no matter what, right? And compliance continues to propagate. There's some good news there. Some of the compliance stuff is starting to get more and more aligned with actual security. But at the end of the day, security's primary mission is to stop exploits, to reduce risk for the organization that they're protecting, to protect data, protect that mission. Right, so how are we doing on that? We spend a lot of money. Again, royal we, $175 billion a year for the cybersecurity market. However, we continue to see, year after year, and apologies to Chris Clear if he's here, I'm using attacks. I know that's not the right lexicon, but everybody uses it in the commercial market. 50% of those exploits are missed year after year, right? And that has kind of stayed, according to Mandiant, stayed about the same every year. We're continuing to miss the exploits that are out there. We know what they are, right? Not a lot of 0 days are happening, so we know what those are, but we continue to miss them year after year. And then as a result, this cost of breaches continues to skyrocket. Much faster than the spend is the cost, right? So that the equation is continuing to yawn more and more, right? Again, until we solve this complexity thing, security is hard. A lot of things have to go right for cyber defense to work, right? So until the complexity is solved, or until things are secure by design, deployed security, operated securely, this ability to stop exploits is going to be more and more important, right? And that's the only way that you're going to provide good defense, is to know what you're protecting and know that you're stopping the exploits. Okay, so the fundamental cause, my thesis today is organizations know what they're catching, but they don't know what they're missing, right? Security fails silently, and when it does, we don't get an alert that things are going wrong, right? Like, it just happens. Like, the stealth part of it is just a natural byproduct of security in itself, right? So until we're able to see what we're missing, know what that is, right? So red teams, pen test teams are incredibly important, right? But they're manpower intensive. They're high demand, low density, right? Like, they got a lot of tasks on top of them. So we need to be able to try to get in and figure out what that is, to bring down the number of exploits that we're missing, and be able to focus, to know yourself, right? Like that OODA loop, if you guys saw that earlier today, to know what you're protecting, to know the core area of your organization, and then be able to understand how to protect it, what it should be protected against, and then make sure that you're doing well at it. All right, so to mix movie genres here, MITRE ATT&CK is a good place to start. It's a lexicon. It helps us understand what exploits are out there, how those exploits can work, how we could potentially stop them or detect them or respond to them. But being able to know, again, what threats are out there, what threats apply to your organization, and then how is your investment doing against that threat? Those exploits that are coming at you. This is a screen that just shows for MITRE ATT&CK in this case. How are you doing? Red is bad, green is good. All of those different things, and then being able to do that in the areas that you care about, in the areas that can impact your mission, whether that's mission is data or operations or military, whatever the case may be. Okay, so from that, what the big thing is, that can be automated these days. Some of the innovations about 7 to 10 years ago helped take those exploits and then automate those, right? And with that, that's one of the ways we can identify, are we catching stuff? Are we blocking, detecting, responding to the things, yes or no, across people, process, and technology? So by automating threat testing, a lot of these things can go from paper-based or subjective to actually, how are we doing, right? And then those results can be used to say, hey, we need an investment here because we see that it's not working. We need to practice more here, or we need to hire more people there, or we need to outsource this, or we need to get rid of that because it's A, either not working, or B, the mission is at risk because of that, right? So that's where we're at in trying to tackle the exploits that are out there and get better at the actual mission that we have. So we're not, having a doomsday machine that nobody talks about, but you're actually able to get out there and do the mission and do that well, and know and be confident that you're able to handle the exploits that are out there. So, all right, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.